Hi everyone, this is Jazzboy, and I'm finally back with another Knockout Arcade devlog after, what, like 7 months, 8 months? Yeah, so I'm sorry about the whole delay. It's been a really long time since I uploaded my last video, and that's due to a couple of things. I'll get to most of that later on in this video. This is going to be a different kind of video from the one that I normally make. This one is going to be a little bit more off the cuff. I don't really have a script. This video is going to be a lot more rambly and probably a bit longer than the other ones, so I'll try to put some chapters down in the time bar if I can figure out how to do that. It's probably not that hard, but yeah, feel free to skip around. So long story short, I've basically graduated college last year and I've been looking for jobs in the games industry, but I couldn't really find anything that I could apply to because most of them require you to have prior experience, go figure. So I spent a long time doing that. And I definitely had a lot of time to work on the game, but for a couple of reasons, I didn't get as much progress done as I would have liked. Again, I'll go over that at the end of this video after I've showcased everything I've worked on so far. But I'm finally in a stable job that I can actually do full time and still have time to work on this game for a couple hours every day. But anyways, I'd like to go over a lot of the changes that I've made since the last time you've seen me. So there are 3 primary things that have changed since my last video. I've mostly been working on Jay and Gunther, who are the 3rd and 4th characters respectively, and I've been working on getting their animations and mechanics into the game. I think I spent a little bit of time polishing up Russel and Beverly, but my focus has been more on Jay and Gunther specifically. So yeah, that's as far as it goes for characters right now. But I have also been working on some single player stuff with campaign mode, and I'll show off a little bit of what I've been working on, but not too much. I am going to save a lot of that for another video. All right, let's just hop right into some of the changes I've made for Jay. So right off the bat, you can already see that I've changed up the UI. I've made it a little bit cleaner, but still trying to keep into that like chunky pixel art aesthetic. I just thought the old sort of like neon borders took up too much space and they kind of looked ugly and they didn't really fit with the rest of the game, so I changed it. But as you can see here, we got a lot of new animations for Jay. We got a back walk, forward walk, proper idle animation, we got crouching, jumping, all the different movement animations that he needs. So I had a lot of time to work on Jay, and he's got a lot more animations done than Gunther, including most of his attacks. So in terms of like Jay's gameplay, he's a spirit character, and I'll get more into his specific spirit mechanic in a bit, but he has a unique movement option in his step dash. So most characters have a forward run that you can like do continuously, but Jay is unique. His run button is instead a dash. So it's not continuous, it has specific steps, hence why the step dash, and it carries a little bit more momentum than some of the other characters, because I think an important part of making characters different is making sure that they feel different when they move around and stuff. So Jay also has the shortest backdash duration in the game, also the shortest distance in the game. But yeah, since Jay has a step dash, he can do a bunch of different things out of it. He can cancel a step dash into any of his attacks, including his like specials. I accidentally did a rush cancel, so I might have to look into that. And then also what you can do is you can cancel it into a crouch, and now he has a bit of a wave dash. So let me see if I can get to go across the screen here, just like that. But yeah, that's about it for his spirit off normals. So in terms of like properties, this sort of high kick that he does, this can actually be crouched. I don't know if Gunther can crouch it. Oh no, he can. He can only barely though. As you can see, not all of Gunther's animations are finished, but we'll get more into those. This is duckable, but it's good as an anti-air, and it has decent reach. I'm probably going to end up giving it more reach though. It's also pretty disjointed as well. His standing heavy attack goes pretty far, but it's pretty slow. As you can see, the hitbox kind of goes up a bit, so... Oh, it will. Well, learn new things every day. Yeah, you can use to crush those just like that. Kind of a unique property for this move. It also doesn't knock down. Most standing heavies knock down, but his actually doesn't. He also has his crouching medium. This is a sliding attack that's a really long-ranged low, so it can be good to just sneak in. And it's also quite active, so it can hit opponents who aren't really paying attention. And this crouching heavy is also this jazz splits kick that actually hits on both sides of him, and that might not seem very useful right now, but it actually does have some implications in the Jay mirror match, which I'll show off in a little bit. And then other than that, he has his aerials. This one's just a nice little active knee. So it's pretty quick, it's active for a decent amount of time. It's not quite as active as Russel's, but you know, it's still decently good. You also got this standing medium attack, which is a long-ranged air-to-air kick move. This is really good for just poking people, especially Gunther. I'll have to look into that because Gunther is extremely tall and I can just like instant overhit him just like this. And then we got his jumping heavy attack, which is sort of like this upside down kick move. And this is unique in that it actually launches grounded opponents. Most jumping heavy attacks don't do that. So it can actually be used as a combo starter like this. Just like that. But now, on to the real event. This is Jay's really unique mechanic, his spirit gauge. And I actually took the time to draw the idle animation for his spirit, Smooth Criminal. Basically the idea is that he works kind of like a JoJo's Heritage for the Future character, and that he can activate between spirit on and spirit off. And the spirit gives him unique attacks. These attacks are way stronger and they have a lot more range, but they come with a unique downside. When Jay is hit, Jay or Smooth Criminal is hit, because Smooth Criminal actually has his own hitbox, Jay actually takes spirit damage in this little bar right here. So yeah, the longer you keep the spirit out, it doesn't regenerate. So in order to get it back, you have to unsummon the spirit to regain it a little bit more. And then the opponent can hit you to drain more of that gauge. And when it's finally gone, you undergo a spirit break, and that causes you to just be stuck in the air for a long time. And you're totally hittable. The opponent can just combo you out of that. So it's a high risk, high reward sort of option. You definitely don't want to be caught too many times with this move, because if you're not careful, you can get spirit broken and just get deleted. Jay also has the lowest health in the game so far. He's got 90 health compared to the average character's 100 health. So you really don't want to get spirit broken. Yeah, that's kind of the idea with Jay so far. I haven't gotten to most of his specials. I did get to up special and his neutral special, just very basically, but his other two specials aren't finished. So right now he just has this projectile for his side special. His spirit off side special is actually going to be a teleport, but I haven't figured out all of the details for how that's supposed to work right now, but it's not supposed to be a projectile. This is just a move that we put in just to have something there for now. And then his down special is like this weird spin attack. It's like a multi-hitting combo, but it's very short range and it's not exactly that useful. So instead, this is going to be like a seismo attack. So wherever you are, like on the screen, Jay can press down special and make Smooth Criminal like erupt from the ground and do like a punch attack, and that can launch you. I haven't decided if I want it to just home in on the opponent or if I want it to be at a specific range where it does that. I've also experimented to where if you hold down or down forward or down back or down forward, then the punch attack can actually appear at a different location, so he can kind of mix you up that way. Yeah, the general idea with Jay is that he's supposed to be a sort of evasive and defensive character in Spirit Off, because he's got like a lot of weird, niche, kind of unorthodox moves that don't really work the way that the rest of the cast does. And one of those kind of manifests as he doesn't really have like a decent long-range poke option other than like this move, but this move is quite slow, so it can get like counter-poked or stuffed out really easily. But then in Spirit On, he's like a really aggressive, really straightforward kind of rushdown character. And he even gets a double jump in Spirit On. I think I covered this in a previous video, actually. And then another thing with Jay, actually, is one of his enhanced specials is the remote mode. So what you can do is you can send out Smooth Criminal and you can attack from a distance, just like this. There's a bunch of other things I've got to, like you can actually finally use Smooth Criminal to grab and throw the opponent. Whereas before, it would only be Jay. Basically, Smooth Criminal wouldn't be allowed to tech throws, and that would be like a huge weakness of this move. Now you can tech throws as Smooth Criminal, and it does fling him back really far, so yeah, maybe that could be a way of getting him out of remote mode, but basically I completely rewrote how Smooth Criminal works, because the old method of how he worked wasn't very scalable, and it would have been a pain just to like update and have to make sure everything works and have to basically program everything for the characters twice, and it just wasn't fun. Yeah, so far I think that is everything I got for Jay in the past 8 months. Again, I could have done more, but I'll get to it. I'll get to that all later. All right, now moving on to Gunther. So Gunther is the 4th character in Knockout Arcade. He is a gorilla who works as the assistant manager of the arcade, and he is, in terms of gameplay, he is a zoner grappler sort of hybrid. So the idea is that Gunther has a lot of these really long-range normals that he can use to keep you away, and there's a mechanic that I haven't implemented with him just yet, but in the future I want to implement a mechanic where the more he hits you with his various cleaning attacks, the more clean the opponent gets. So basically it applies a debuff to the opponent, and basically the more clean the opponent is, the more damage his command grab does. So there's sort of this back and forth between, you want to kind of zone the opponent out for a little bit, and then once they have gotten hit enough, and once their like clean meter is high enough, then you try to go in for a grab. So it's kind of like you're kind of like mixing up your play style, where like sometimes you want to zone out with your long range normals, and then other times you want to go in for the grabs. You want to like mix them up, classic grappler shenanigans. So I think that's a fun archetype. I think it would be pretty fun. I also want to give him a mechanic where he can like leave puddles on the ground, and he can do all sorts of stuff with that. But in terms of actual progress, I didn't get as much progress done on Gunther yet, but I do still have a couple of animations to show. For one, we got a work in progress walking animation, and of course a finished idle animation. My basic pipeline for animations is I do all of the like rough blockouts and stuff, and then I do the coloring in a separate day, basically. Pretty much this is why all the animations you see here are just using like flats, like they don't actually have the rendered shading or even the black outline, is because I save that for a different step in the process. Because for me personally, getting the animation in the game and then looking good is more important than it just looking good right now. And so I make sure that the move feels good and it looks good even as a flat. That way when I go to add color, it'll look even better and hopefully be even more clear. And I just realized I was using his alternate color for that last clip. So in this clip, I'm using his actual default color. He's supposed to be red and not blue. Sorry about that. So right now I have 3 moves that have been blocked out. And so they have their rough animations done. The first one is this jab combo. So unlike all the other characters, Gunther only has a 2-hit jab combo, because I think that also kind of makes him unique. One of my goals, again, for this game is that every character plays differently and they all kind of feel unique and they all have different unique aspects. So one of the things that differentiates him is that he only has a 2-hitting jab combo. He sprays you with this little like Windex or cleaner bottle, and then he hits you with an uppercut. And then this would be good for applying clean to the opponent. It also launches them back a bit. I think this is frame 6, so it's significantly slower than other characters' faster buttons. I believe Jay's stand light is 4 frames, and then Russel's is 3 frames. So it's significantly slower, but you'd expect that from a bigger character. But it also has quite a bit of range, and it's quite disjointed too. It also goes pretty high, so it's actually decent as an anti-air as well. So it's a quick 6-frame anti-air, just like that. This will always just hit Russel out of the air as well. Russel's jump actually does not go high enough to avoid this move, which is pretty funny and also kind of fitting for the lore of this game, which I'll go into at a later date. His standing heavy is this big lunge attack. So this goes almost full screen, maybe like half screen. Yeah. And it's also super disjointed as well. So very good move to sort of use as a poke, and just kind of keep the opponent away just like that. And so yeah, obviously it's quite a committal button because it's easily jumped over and you can get a jump in combo like that. So the idea is to kind of combine aspects of like Dhalsim and Zangief from Street Fighter, because I don't know if that's really been done before, and I just think it'd be a cool idea to sort of try to see if I can merge 2 completely opposite archetypes together. And then one more thing to go over for Gunther is he has a unique restriction for his moves that not all the characters have. So in Knockout Arcade, you can chain your normal attacks together by going until from light, medium, heavy, and that naturally combos for most characters. However, for Gunther, he actually does not. He actually can't chain his normals together. So I'm pressing light and medium, but it just doesn't work. He simply can't cancel it, and that's because his moves have better properties in other regards, like having lots of range, being very good utility moves, and of course doing a ton of damage. So yeah, that's what I got so far for Gunther in the past 8 months. I've really only worked on him for like 2 months, maybe cumulatively. Hopefully in the future I can have more animations for him done. But yeah, that's what I got done so far for these next 2 characters. For the last 2 characters of Knockout Arcade, I really want to get them sort of like concepted and done at least in this year, hopefully. Maybe by the time Evo rolls around, I'll have the last 2 characters at least in the game to some capacity, because my goal is to have 6 characters by the time the game comes out. I have loose design ideas and concepts for these characters, but I don't really have anything written down, and I certainly wouldn't want to spoil it right now, because I want it to kind of be a surprise for when I actually make a proper devlog video. So stay tuned for that. Now, the last thing I want to briefly go over before I sort of wrap up this video is some of the stuff I've done for the single player. So my big goal this year is to get Russel's single player campaign mode at least blocked out, at least like functionally complete. So this is something recent that I've been working on in the last week actually, is getting all of the architecture done and planning stuff out for the single player mode. And so what I've gotten done so far is the file select, because I figure that's a pretty easy way to start, just to get something simple to sort of warm myself up back into the swing of things again. And I have worked on more than this. For example, you can select a file and then you can choose a character. So the idea is that each character's campaign mode is saved separately under each file. So you can have different campaigns for Russell, Beverly, Jay, and all of the other characters. So the idea is that each character has around 2 hours worth of campaign content. So that's around 12 hours total of content. However, for release, I only plan to do Russell's, because doing all 6 characters would be a ton of work. And I don't think I could get all that done within a reasonable time frame. Like, it would be stuff that I would release after the game has already come out. So that would kind of be my content strategy post-release, is being able to release more single player campaign modes and have people play them, because I think that'd be interesting for a fighting game. Not very many fighting games have like single player stuff that gets updated over and over throughout the course of the game's lifespan, but who knows? I think it'd be interesting. And I've certainly got a lot of interesting ideas for what I want to do with this. Again, I'm going to go over this in a separate video, hopefully later this month. I'm not going to show you what happens after this menu, but it does go to somewhere. Again, I'll save it for the video. And that's about as much as I want to say on that. Again, I'm going to be working more on this month, and I'll hopefully have a video on it later this month. All right, there's only a couple more things I want to discuss before I wrap up this video. One thing is I kind of want to describe more of where I've been for the past year or so. Like I said earlier in this video, I graduated college in May, and I got my degree in game design with an associate's in game art and animation. So I was looking around for several months trying to find a job in the games industry, but it's unsurprisingly, it is very difficult to break into the games industry without having already published a game. So I spent just a long time just trying to find anything that would suffice and just trying to find another job. So that was a good chunk of my time. With this game, when I was unemployed, I didn't really have a pressure or a deadline or anything. And so the motivation to do it kind of left me, because I had so much time, and I figured I'd wake up one day and I'd think I'd want to get stuff done, but I can do this later in the day, maybe after lunch. And then after lunch would come, and then it'd be noon, and then I'd be like, oh, I'll just wait until the end of the day, and then the end of the day would come, and I've just wasted the whole day. So I kind of got in this vicious cycle where I would just repeat days of just wanting to work on stuff, but not like getting the motivation to do it, really. And it just kind of was hard for me to work on the game for a long time. I would go a couple months without even touching the game. I think there was like a good 2-month span where I just didn't do anything with the game, and I'm sorry for that, because I really should have been working on getting more videos out. And that's another thing, people have been asking for a new video for months, like literally for months. I've gotten comments recently asking for more videos, and I'm really sorry that I've not been able to put out as much of these videos as I can. But another thing is, I usually wait to make a devlog until I feel like I have enough to show, and it's kind of been small steps so far, and all of the stuff that I've gotten done still feels unfinished, and like I don't really want to show something that's unfinished. But you kind of have to when you're making a devlog. You just have to show what your progress is. But I feel like if I just showed what I had, it wouldn't be enough, and the video wouldn't be long enough, or it wouldn't have enough content, and then people would just be left disappointed, and I didn't want to disappoint anyone. But I did still get a good amount of stuff done. I certainly didn't do nothing the entire time. I did get stuff done, but I really would have liked to get more done, and I definitely regret not doing more. But recently it's gotten better. I've been doing usually, if not nightly, every other night. Me and my friends would get together and we'd work on our projects for a couple hours every night. And so that's been helpful to sort of help me stay on track with this game, work on it a little bit every day, because I found that when I have the whole day to myself, it's really easy for me to just like stress out and procrastinate, because like, oh man, I have to work on this game for like several hours. The idea of having to work on a game for so long in that time was really wearing me down. So just working on it little by little has been definitely helpful. It means I have less time to work on the game, and so I have things are going to take a little bit longer. But I think the way things were going before, this game would never get done because I would just procrastinate too much on it. But looking forward to the future, I do have some goals with this game. So this year I want to get, like I said, Russel's campaign mode done. I also want to get the 6 characters in to some degree, even if they're just all placeholders and they don't really work. But I do want to have 6 characters by the end of the year. I am planning to go to a couple of project nights, just kind of around where I live and sort of get feedback and playtesting on the game. I am going to EVO this year. I have fingers crossed I can get that to happen. So I don't have a booth or anything, but I'll try to carry a Steam Deck around and see if people want to maybe play my game at the convention. But also I want to try to get a video out at least once a month, like an actual edited devlog, just like the older ones. Again, this has been a weird devlog because I just wanted to like get some update out there. That way people aren't totally left in the dark for another month. I want to get one edited video out like old devlog style, and then I want to try to get one secondary video out going over just other topics related to fighting games or, updates for my game. Yeah, that's about all I've got right now. So I'd like to thank you all for watching. There's not a new build right now for Knockout Arcade, but there will hopefully be one pretty soon once I get some more of the single player stuff down. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Sorry it was pretty rambly and very different from my usual style, but I just wanted to get something out just to let you guys know what's been going on. And then hopefully I can get more devlogs out and get more updates to the game and really get a lot of progress done. 2024 really got away from me, and I'm not going to let 2025 slip through my fingers again. So I'm determined to keep working on the game and try to get a lot of progress done. We're already off to a decent start. If I can get a lot of the main single player functionality done this month with a couple of animations for characters, I think that'd be good. And then I have other plans to do for later. But yeah, we'll see where that goes. Again, thank you for watching and have a good day. Bye.